If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another installment of your weekly news broadcast, MoCo Resistance. My name is Harold Maldonado. Today is July 23rd, year of our Lord, 2023. We're covering episode 6 today, which we have entitled Restore OutNow. This comes after another successful rally that we had at the Board of Education last Thursday. We saw the same energy, the same enthusiasm, and the same resolve of parents who want to have that opt-out option for their children. And we'll touch on this in this episode. As usual, we're going to start with current events. We're going to talk about the bill that was passed this week at the council for Rent Stabilization Bill 15-23. We're going to talk about the rally, and then all this information points to the fact that we are at war. We are at war to defend our constitutional rights, to defend our rights, to our religious rights, our parents' rights. And this is one of the front lines that we have in this war. And then we'll touch on other front lines that we have in this war. This war has been going on for the last 5-10 years, and recently this war has been coming to the surface, and you can see this everywhere now. We see this war at the federal level with the Biden administrations, with the DOJ, with the FBI, with the government agencies who are weaponized to go against the Americans and safeguard the interests of the Democrat Party. So, and then at the state level, we're also at war. They're trying to impose a narrative that is against family values, that is against parents' rights, that is basically criminal what they're doing to the kids, and we'll talk about that on other episodes. But yeah, that's another part of the war. So let's get to it. Current events. We're gonna, of course, start with the Twitter feed. This is a tweet from Dan Reed, who comments on the rally that we had last Thursday, where he says, more protests at the MoCo school board from parents who insist they don't hate queer or trans people, but also don't want their kids to learn about queer or trans people in school. This is incorrect. We hope Dan Reed retracts and provides an apology to the general public, because this is incorrect. This is totally wrong. Parents in this movement have nothing against queer or trans people. That we don't want the lifestyle, the information, the curriculum to be imposed in our education for our kids, because our kids should be learning math, reading, should be learning about science and history, not whether or not their gender is the correct one, or whether they need to know how to do or perform oral anal sex. That's not correct. That's totally wrong, and we have nothing against that community. We're still living in a free country, so if you decide as an adult that you want to worship a rock in your backyard, you're free to do so, and you're free to do whatever you want to do within the privacy of your home. And this is basically what this movement wants to accomplish. They want to accomplish. They want to legalize and normalize pedophilia. So you need to retract, Dan Reed. You are incorrect. We have nothing against that community, the gay or the queer community. So we got libs on TikTok. And fair warning, this episode will contain adult material, and it's ironic actually, because if we're saying this episode contains graphic material, it's the same material that they want to push and they're using in our school system. So, okay, so we have Libs of TikTok, and he says, or she, graphic. Akron Central Schools in New York offers the pornographic book Let's Talk About It in middle school library. And basically, fair warning, we have very graphic material coming up. So if you have kids around you, whatever, please, you've been warned. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, here we go. The book encourages exploring kink on the internet, watching porn, using sex toys, and contains graphic depictions of sex. So this is what the queer and the transgenderism curriculum wants to push in our kids. This is wrong. Look at the graphic. Look at the pictures, the text. They want to normalize kids having sex. What is wrong with that? Is completely inappropriate. We're going to fight this all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we're gonna. This is criminal. This is child abuse. Unbelievable. And then we have another tweet from Libs of TikTok where it says Democrats get upset and try to silence Marjorie Taylor Greene as she shows images of Hunter Biden with prostitutes, claiming it's unbecoming. So this is another event that happened this past week where the Congress Senate hearings on Hunter Biden's laptop, that we said it was true and it existed, and Democrats are upset because the images presented in those in the laptop from Taylor Greene, they're saying it's bad or it's inappropriate. It's so ironic, and this is basically this is the family who's running the country right now, and this is just total hypocrisy from Democrats. We have Mama Bear, where she retweets a tweet from James O'Keefe, where he says, offering transparency to another school district in Jersey. Roselle Park School District has been mired in controversy surrounding the termination of a teacher who made inappropriate postings online, including a video depicting him eating a baby. So we have, the narrative this completely has gone bonkers, and they want to normalize this. They want to, and that's what we say. This is, we're at war. We are both information war. We are in spiritual war as well. So this is not something that we want to. Okay, and then we have a tweet from Islam RFI, and this is going back to the testimony that we had last Thursday.
Yep, sorry about that. Dear Diary, it's hard being 6. Today we read a weird book, My Rainbow. It was about a boy who wanted to be a girl. He was a transgender girl. A transgender girl? That's a big word for somebody my age, but it just got harder. My teacher asked me if I was a cis girl. Well, what's that? A girl who wants to be a girl. Well, why can't I just be a girl? Because, she said loudly, a girl can be many things. Can everything be many things or just people? My teacher said I was asking too many questions, but that's what happens if I don't understand things, hard things. So a boy just has to wear a wig to be a girl? So you can wear a wig if you're a boy, she said, when you're little, but then when you grow up, you can go to the doctor and be a complete girl. Dr. Stepansky, our dentist, does that? No, there are other doctors, gender-affirming ones. Let's talk about that later. But why not now? Can I be an animal, miss? A pig? Sure. I came home and Mommy had made pork chops. I couldn't eat a pig being a pig. Mommy told me I was not a pig and that I was a girl. And it really hurt my feelings. I don't think Mommy loves me anymore. I asked Mommy if she was a cis mommy or a transgender mommy. Mommy said I was thinking too much. I think I was. Can we just keep it simple? I don't want to choose between my mommy and my teacher. Aren't they both supposed to be right? Now I ask you all, can you guarantee that these discussions are not taking place post-reading My Rainbow? Children have unlimited imagination. There is no concept of censorship. Feeding them concepts that they are not able to digest, comprehend, and differentiate provides confusion and distorts view on their simple reality. I will not strip my children of this innocence. I will not put them in the center of a highway with traffic coming from all different directions. They are mine, not yours. Reinstate opt-out.
Now we have Tom Fitton, who tweets, the radical left is a threat to the public safety. Yep, we agree with that 100%. And this is another front line that we have in this war. And this is the woke progressive Democrat lunatics around the world saying that there's a climate crisis. And this, so Tom retweets a tweet from Censored Men, who says, "Just Stop Oil, an organization, prevent a woman from taking her baby to the hospital. Absolutely disgraceful." So here we have, this is in the UK, I believe. No audio on this one. But as you can see, the climate change activists are wearing orange vests, and they're stopping traffic. And this mom is talking to them, screaming at them, so they can like move it out of the way so she can take her baby to the hospital. And this is happening all over the world. We'll touch on this on another episode, and we'll touch on the climate change or the global warming narrative that they're pushing, that the other side is pushing, the extreme left is pushing. And we're going to talk to, we're going to look at the data, look at the science, and we'll prove that climate change and climate global warming, all those slogans are basically a hoax. And the county council is pushing this, and that's why they want to push electric cars, and they want to remove hydrocarbons from the energy grid by 2025 or 35. But that's what they want to do. And if you haven't heard of Thrive 2050, we'll touch on that as well, which is a plan the county council approved this year that basically is a roadmap of decarbonizing the county economy. And basically this is what this narrative is pushing. So we'll touch on that. Continuing with the tweet, and this is the poster girl for this movement. This is a tweet from Jackie Meek, and she says, anyone like to caption this without getting suspended? And that's we'll touch on this as a narrative that is false, that is also comes from the communist Marxist socialist agenda. And then we have Greg back. Welcome back, Greg. Hope everything's okay with you, and we'll love to have you in the program again sometime again. And he planning to enroll Chris Van Hollen, and he reposted a tweet from Wall Street Memes, who's enrolling in Bidenomics class. So the Biden administration has created this word, Bidenomics. It's a noun, but so the definition is Biden economics is what was I talking about? Oh, beautiful morning, folks. Oh, chocolate chip. Anyway, America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. So we have a corrupt and compromised White House administration. We have Biden, who has received money from overseas, from enemies. We have his son, who's a drug addict and persistent customer of prostitutes. Imagine if this was a Republican family, or the first family. The mainstream media would would go ham on everything and accusing them and asking for their heads, basically. And this should tell you a lot about who the enemy is in terms of the mainstream media and what kind of message, what kind of information you're receiving from them. And as you might already know, the mainstream media is covering for the Biden administration, as is for locally, with the local media who are covering for the county council, for the executive, for the Board of Education. Yeah. So continuing, we got Mama Bear again. Thanks for your tweets. And this is a meme that she retweeted. And this is Barry Soetoro, who says, the meme says he was not a president. He was and still is the enemy of the state. And then we'll touch on this in a later episode. But basically, the sentiment is that the Obama administration had a chance to bring the country together, to unite the country, but it was the opposite. So we'll touch on that on a later episode. But very funny tweet. And we have Islam again, RF5, where she says, or he says, the Muslim and Ethiopian Christians of Montgomery County are coming for the school board seat of Lynn for Students. So again, this movement is about action, is about being organized, and it's about grassroots ideas and sentiments, and it's a movement. So in terms of the action, I applaud this from the Muslims and Ethiopian Christians community that are going to take this, and they are going to get involved in politics, which we applaud. And this is actually the result of movement, which is grassroots, and this is the action that we're going to have. So we're going to listen to Mr. Karim Moniv, who is the president of Coalition of Virtue. He was we highlighted his interview last episode, where he was interviewed by Fox. So here we go. Let's listen to him.
But when it comes to our kids, there's nothing more important in our lives. Absolutely nothing. No one would trade their children in for $1 billion. Am I right? Yeah. Is there anything more important than our kids? No. We are standing here today for a simple reason. We don't control our kids' education because we don't control this Board of Education. And they decide everything. They decide what your kid is going to learn. They decide what your kid is going to believe. They decide what your kid is going to think is right and what is wrong. That's too much power to hand over to somebody. We need to be on that Board of Education. Am I right? Yes. Yes. Next year, there are going to be elections. There are 3 seats up on this board. One is an at-large seat. That's Lynn Harris, the one who said our kids are parroting dogma. My God. You know what dogma is? It's a depreciatory term. Yes. It means that what we believe is some nonsense, a bunch of superstitions. We're just feeding it to our kids. You understand how depraved that type of outlook is? To view us, as people's faith, as just spewing dogma to our kids. They see us as evil. They see us as evil people. And that's why we need to change that. The second seat is District 2. The third seat is District 4. We are going to be putting up a slate for all 3 seats. And we're going to take back this board. And we're going to put people like you on the board. People like you. People like you on the board. The same people who share our values and believe in a good education. People that want academic excellence. People that don't want to divide our community into this and that.
Continuing, so this movement is actually going to be actionable. So you just heard that they are going after the positions in elections, the Board of Education next year. So this is great news. Continuing with the information, we have the Montgomery County Police Department. They're announcing the next Hispanic Community Academy begins on September 6, 2023. And we applaud this movement or this action. We at MoCo Resistance support the police, support the Blue 100%. And I just found it interesting that they're reaching out to the Hispanic community, which is great. And one thing that I found interesting was this: regardless of immigration status, what do you? So you're. I don't know what that means. I just find it interesting. Anyway, so yeah, we hope the police department gets help, gets money, but at this point, I don't see anything happening in that front. We have a tweet from Mama Bear, where she says, is anyone else noticing that the more they get away with, the worse things they do? How bad are we going to let this corruption and these crimes against America and Americans get? So she's talking about what I've said before in this episode, where she retweets a tweet from Sean Davis, who says the FBI source whose report was hidden by corrupt FBI agents told the agency that Burisma founder had 17 recordings on his bribery conversations with the Bidens. 2 of the recordings included conversations with Joe Biden himself, while 15 were with Hunter Biden. So the Biden administration, Biden needs to be impeached, and a lot of people need to go to jail. But again, we see the FBI protecting the Biden administration, and this is unbelievable. This is outrageous. This should wake up every single resident in the county and every American in the country, because this is unacceptable. The FBI was supposed to work for the people, and they're not. They're covering the corruption, bribery, drug use for the Biden family, and this is unacceptable. So, yeah, and this should tell you that we're at war. We're at war to preserve the American way of life, to preserve our liberties and freedoms. And thank you, Mama Bear, for posting this. Continuing, we have compromised local media source, MoCo360.media, where they say several people affiliated with Moms for Liberty were present at Thursday's protest, but protest leaders said if one of them had asked to address the crowd, they wouldn't have absolutely been denied. So I've talked to many organizations in the rally, including Moms for Liberty, and they're a grassroots movement, and that is made up of parents, mothers, and fathers who are concerned about their kids' education. They don't have mansions, 1.5 million mansions like the current council members do. And again, this is local media covering compromised local media. They changed their name, formerly Bethesda Beat, and yeah, they are part of the enemy. They do not work for the people. They do not provide the information for the residents, and they are basically smearing the Moms for Liberty organization. We'll interview Moms for Liberty and for the next episode, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, this is compromised, bought and paid for local media source. That's a joke. And then we have Miriam Shahad. I apologize for my mispronunciation of your name, where she says parents again rallying in Rockville to demand an opt-out option for LGBTQ plus stories in public schools. So we have, as you can see, we have minorities mostly, Black, brown, in the rally, and My question to you is, okay, if the other side thrives on spewing diversity, equality, and inclusion, they should embrace this movement. They should support this movement, but they're not. Because why? They lie. They are liars. They are corrupt. They are bought and paid for, and they hate this country. They hate everything that the country stands for, and they want us divided. They want us fighting with each other. And as you can see in front of you right now, you have peaceful protesters, parents, working families that are coming together to protest this. And this should give you an idea of who's on the right side and who's on the wrong side of the issue right now. So, and we have a tweet from Montgomery County Watchdog where he says, "This is sickening. That judge should be behind bars for letting more sexual assaults happen." And he retweets a tweet from Mama Linaire, where she says, "End qualified immunity for states' attorneys and judges. Sexual assault 2022, sentenced to 4 years. No time was served out of probation violated this year. No punishment." So again, this is a part of the war we're in. All of our government offices, including the judicial in this case, are compromised. They don't work for the people. They're protecting criminals and not protecting residents, law-abiding citizens. So it should give you a sense of what's really going on in the country, in the state, and in our county. And again, everything that happens in Montgomery County doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's a result of what is happening in the country and at the state level as well. Please share these episodes far and wide. We need this information to reach every household in the county so as to increase awareness, so residents can be informed and get active locally. We have a tweet here from Moms for Liberty, and they're calling out the council. They're calling out Lynn for students. They're calling out Jawando and Mink, where they say, where are you removing Lynn for students right now? Your silence is compliance. So this is a reaction of a tweet from Islam, where announced that they are going to run for office for the Board of Education. So this concludes the current events portion of the program today. Now we'll turn our attention into the meat of the episode, which is our Rent Stabilization Bill, which was passed. It was the bill 15-23. It was passed on July 18th of this year, this past week. And the main takeaways are that it caps rent increases to 3% plus inflation with a maximum of 6%. It restricts rental increases for troubled or distressed properties. So if you're a landowner that has old or properties that are missing permits, et cetera, you cannot modify your rents. So you're basically out of luck in terms of trying to make a profit. It removes exception for homes or condos owned by individuals. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you own properties in homes or condos, you will be faced with a rent increase cap. And also there's an exemption for buildings constructed or built after January 1st, 2000. So again, my 2 cents on this is that the bill goes against basic economic principles. Government price controls never work. So this bill, in my opinion, prices out small and medium-sized property owners, and it discourages new construction, basically. And what is really behind the bill? Basically, what we're seeing is that the bill is part of this agenda we've been talking about, and to basically the first agenda is to destroy the economy. And how do you do that? You don't do it with a massive plan to say to the public, we're going to destroy the economy. No, you do it in a subtle way. You first take control of the production means of the economy. You centralize control of the economy. And if in this case, you're the county council, so you put in place regulations and bills and laws that enable you to control the market activity in the economy. In that way, you basically decide who's the winner, who's the loser in the economy, just like the Chinese are doing in their economy. Their economy is supposed to be communist, but they're hiding their Marxist agenda or superficial communist agenda by selecting and picking out the winners and losers in their economy. So the same thing is happening in the county. The county is, with this bill, is actually taking control of the property, the construction industry, the real estate industry. So what is the aim? The first aim of this county council bill is to make sure that small and medium-sized business owners, property owners, are priced out of the market. And when they're priced out of the market, they will come in and either sell the property or take control of the property. And what does that mean? For the second point right here, takeaways is the strict rental increases for troubled or distressed properties. It basically means that they are pushing to create slums in Montgomery County. They are pushing to create Langley Park 2.0 or California 2.0 in terms of poverty, drug use, and anything that and everything under the sun that makes a society or makes a community a bad place to live in. So that's where we see the agenda going. We were against this bill. Basically, next you're going to see how this was voted. Of course, you're going to see...
Yes. Councilmember Meek votes yes. Councilmember Sales?
Yes.
Councilmember Sales votes yes. Councilmember Albanaz?
No.
Councilmember Albanaz votes no. Councilmember Duando?
Yes.
Councilmember Duando votes yes. Councilmember Katz?
Yes.
Councilmember Katz votes yes. Councilmember Stewart?
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart votes yes. Councilmember Fountain Gonzalez?
Yes.
Councilmember Fountain Gonzalez votes yes. Councilmember Balcom?
No.
Councilmember Balcom votes no. Councilmember Friedson?
No.
Councilmember Friedson votes no. Councilmember Glass?
Yes.
Councilmember Glass votes yes.
The county council, Joando, is basically the one who started with the idea with this bill, and is one that has no idea, no knowledge of economic principles. Basically, any time the government comes in and controls pricing in any part of the economy, that it turns out to be bad. I mean, you can see this in examples of rent price controls in DC, in other places in Baltimore where they have implemented it and they have failed. They have decreased investment in property construction. They have lowered the economic activity. And here we have Montgomery perspective. We talked about this grassroots source of information, and he provides a great, Adam Pacnuccio provides great articles, insights into what's going on. Here he says he has an article, "The Winners and Losers of Rent Controlled Battle," and great articles in terms of just pointing out the obvious, pointing out facts, analyzing the cons and the pros of this bill. And Joando is again the one council member who pushed this. And this is not his idea. He's a puppet. So he like the rest of the county council and the executive, they listen. They are beholden to the Tacoma Park Communist Cartel. So they were pushing this, and you probably got a memo saying, "Hey," or a call or a threat, "You got to do this." And of course, the most people who are in the know in terms of what's really going on in the county are, very clearly see the interference and the double talk that these county council members are spreading throughout this process. So, and here here's CASA. We call CASA now the Marxist CASA in Montgomery County, the Marxist CASA in MoCo. So there are communist Marxist extreme left organization that spews division, racism, hate under the guises of diversity, inclusion, and equality. So whenever you hear that, you should your hair in the back of your head should tingle, because this is Marxism, and that's all they want to do. Anyway, so here's an article, and Adam provides a wealth of information. Here he has an article where he points out that realtors condemned rent control attack Fanny Gonzalez and Katz, and we'll check out his article. And basically, they say that. Here you go. Here's a letter from the GCRR statement on Montgomery County's passage of rental control legislation. So here we go, right here. In passing rent control yesterday, 7 Montgomery County council members have pushed the county farther from our housing goals in favor of short-term policy goals and expedient political gains. We face a deficit over 30,000 housing units across the economic spectrum, and this council has sent a clear message to the very professionals that build and maintain that housing. An investment in our community is worth less here than it is across the river or in neighboring Maryland locality. So that should give you an idea of where about the market sentiment and of this bill. And this is the Greater Capital Area Association of Realtors. So again, the county has no idea what they're doing in terms of handling or managing our economy. They have the people who are in the council right now. They have no background. They are political activists who are there to gain political favors and to serve their masters at the Tacoma Park Communist Cartel. So they're bought and paid for, and they need to be removed. They need to be removed via vote or via recall. And this is just another example. Things are getting worse, and they're doing things by the book in terms of the Marxist agenda, which is to eliminate private property, which is to eliminate the middle class, to create socioeconomic divisions, and to divide people so they can control each group individually. And then right now, their agenda is crumbling at the seams, because people in the county are under our organic grassroots movement, which is spreading. We have Black, brown, yellow, Hispanic, Christian, Catholic, Asian, Black, white. We got all denominations coming together. And this is a wonderful thing to see. So if you're listening to this for the first time, you joined the resistance, and we're here to provide you with information so you your awareness can increase, and you can share the information and be part of the resistance. So here another article by Adam, and the article is, does MoCo want to kill its real estate industry? And I would say with resounding 100% yes, they do want to kill the real estate industry. They want to control all means of production, and they are the ones who want to pick the winners and the losers in our economy. So I'll put these articles in the description below under the video, so you guys can look at it with ample time in your free time. Let's continue. So here's a graph provided by the Lincoln Property Company. I got this from Adam's website, Montgomery Perspective, and it points out to the vacancy, the MoCo total office vacancy rate between the second quarter of 2017 and the second quarter of this year. And as you can see, the vacancy rate has not recovered at all from before the pandemic, which was at averaging 14% to what is now close to 19%. So what this bill will do is increase this gap even further. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of less investment, less work. I mean, the real estate and construction industry, they produce a lot of jobs, and in this county, we have a lot of unskilled workers and that need construction work, construction jobs. And again, the council is spewing this narrative of diversity, equality, and inclusion. And it's just a propaganda, a communist Marxist propaganda that is just a lie. And I'll just show you next. And this is a graph from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics provided in Adam's articles from Montgomery Perspective. And this shows, it's a graph, MoCo construction employment and establishments between 2001 and 2022. And in the red, you have employment right here from 2001, and you see that there's a close correlation between establishments, meaning construction establishments right here, and then you have employment. So whenever there's an increase or there's a positive path of establishments, then you'll see the high employment generation for construction is right there, very close to it. So there's a high correlation. And of course, if you see with this bill, you're going to see less construction, you're going to see less employment for construction workers, and less investment overall in real estate and in construction. So the externalities that we see in the economy because of this bill will be negative, meaning that whenever there's investment in property, everybody, it provides activity, it generates activity, economic activity for other industries or for other parts. I'll always say, is how's Home Depot stock doing? That usually tells you how the economy is doing, because construction is a big part of our economy, and also is a big part of our this presents a highly correlated relationship between construction and employment. So so bad times are ahead in terms of employment being generated for the construction industry, for the real estate and construction, property construction industry. So there you go. Now we'll turn our attention into what has happened in the rally that we had on Thursday, July 20th, 2023. It was very hot. It was at 10 a.m., but people showed up from every creed. I saw priests, I saw Muslim clergy, I saw Christian clergy, I saw Jewish clergy, very religious leaders, and very enthused, very positive. and very respectful and very cognizant of what's really going on in terms of their demand, which we support, which is to allow parents to let their children opt out of the transgender LGBTQ plus curriculum in school. So more groups are joining the fight. The movement is organizing more. I was able to meet Mr. Kareem Moniv. He's the president of the Coalition of Virtue. He's a gentleman who I showed you a video of earlier. We were going to try to have him in the program, so we can have an interview with him and talk to him about what some details on his organization, etc. And also, I was able to meet Samari Munshi. She's also part of the Coalition of Virtue. She's the one who had a very prominent participation in the Board of Education in terms of her presenting her 2 minutes of support of opting out of this curriculum. So what we see in this situation is that the Board of Education is doubling down on its constitutional stance. Religious freedom is protected under the First Amendment. Where's the diversity? Where's the inclusion? So where's the diversity, equality, and inclusion spilled from the boards of education, from the Democrats, from the liberals? This demand, this movement is being pushed by people of color. So where's the spiel? Where's where's the propaganda of your diversity, equality, and inclusion, or is this just a lie? It's a lie. I mean, you can't put it any other way. It's a lie. It's a deception tactic to divide people, to control people, and to make people feel that they're doing something good. These people are evil. These people need to be voted out. These people need to be removed from office. We'll reach out to legal experts to see what options we have in terms of removing these people from office, because they're definitely not working for us, and people are sick. I'm sick and tired of them. People are tired. They're sick. They're tired of the incompetence. They're tired of the lies. They're tired of the double talk. And where is the tweets from Evan Glass, from Don Lifke, from Natalie Gonzalez? Where's from Balcom? Balcom seems to be enjoying her job. Do your job. Do something. Say something. There's nothing from them about the movie Sound of Freedom, because they're all in it. They're all in it. They all want to legalize and normalize pedophilia. That's basically it. And this is just starting. I mean, we're not going to stop. I mean, you're going to see videos right now of what the rally encompassed unity, love, definitely togetherness of people of faith. And we're not asking for anything out of the ordinary. We're not asking you to believe what we believe. We're asking you to respect our religious freedom, our religious values. And we're not here to spew hate, as you've said numerous times. We're here we respect the LGBT community, we respect the gay community, but we don't want, if you're 18 and older, you're an adult, we still live in a free country. You're free to worship or rock if you want to in your home. And what you do in the privacy of your home, of your bedroom, is your privacy. You don't need to bring in your values and the inappropriate sexualized curriculum into our kids. Our kids need to be learning about science, math, reading, history, etc., the core subjects. We have a labor force that is incompetent in terms of not being ready to join the workforce. You are destroying the economy, and with this bill, this rent stabilization bill that puts a cap on rent increases, is definitely destroying a part of the economy that creates numerous jobs, an important part of the economy. You are sabotaging the well-being of every resident in the county by your policies, and people are fed up. So now we'll see the videos of the rally, and here we go.
We've been hearing from our opposition that the issue at hand is just the simple fact that these people exist and they want to feel represented in society. And we all feel that way. As Muslims, as immigrants, as whatever we are, as women, we want to feel represented in society and respected in society. But the reality is that this campaign that they've launched against our children in the school systems, in this county and across the country, and we're seeing this in Canada, this is not just about representation of minorities, this is about teaching our children to celebrate certain lifestyles, whether or not those lifestyles conflict with our religion or not. Saying something is good or something is bad is a moral and ethical argument. If you say gambling is good, you're making an ethical statement. Why is gambling good? If you say eating meat is bad, you're making an ethical argument. Why is eating meat bad? When you say certain lifestyles, sexual lifestyles and sexual preferences are acceptable and should be celebrated, you're making an ethical judgment, and that's our place as believers in a religious lifestyle, a religious worldview, to teach our children. It's not the place of schools, it's not the place of teachers, it's not the place of anyone else. We can teach our children what's right and wrong based on our belief systems while respecting others. And the opt-out option is not meant to insult anyone, it's to allow our children to have a safe space to be who they are without being forced to be taught and indoctrinated and brainwashed into believing something that we believe is evil to be good and to be celebrated. This is all we're asking. We're not asking to discriminate anyone. We're just asking our children to be safe, to have a safe space, not to be taught something which is contradictory to their religion. It's very, very simple. And the idea that we're teaching hate, it's just a lie. It's an absolute lie. We believe that every human being, male or female, people who understand their identity, people who are questioning their identity, people who are attracted to the same sex, people who are attracted to different sex, every human being has a soul, and that soul is sacred, created by our Creator to live on this earth with purpose. We respect every single human life on this planet. We don't hate anyone. But lifestyles, we have the right to say this is not healthy, or this is not good for the human being, this is not ethical for the human being, this is spiritually harmful to the human being. This is our right as believers to teach that, and to impart and to push that on us as believers is indoctrination. As many of you have on your signs, it is an ideology. It's an ideology, and we have to say your ideology does not take precedence over our ideology and our right to teach our children. Thank you very much. We have to.
As you were able to hear, parents in this grassroots movement are steadfast in their conviction. They are demanding what is right, what is protected under our Constitution, under the First Amendment. And the Board of Education is not following the Constitution. So we ask you to share this information far and wide. These episodes, we need to get this information to every household in the county and beyond. Thank you for your time. This concludes episode 6. Please follow us at Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe to our channels in Telegram, Rumble, and YouTube. Join us. Join the MoCo resistance.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land.